Neumorphism design. Well, neumorphism design is a design style taken from the skeuomorphism design, which means it is a modern iteration of skeuomorphism design. In this video, we are going to learn how to create neumorphic UI designs by using Adobe XD. And if you have ever tried to create neumorphism UI in Adobe XD, you might have found that you have no option for using multiple shadows or inner shadows. Well, then how the hell on this earth you can create neumorphism design in Adobe XD? Well, that's what we are going to look at in this video. Welcome to Smash the Shell. I am Amit Kumar, and in this video tutorial we're gonna be talking about how to create neumorphism UI designs inside Adobe XD, and not only create them, how to create neumorphic components so that you can use them for your any neumorphic UI design projects. So let's go ahead and get started. So friends, to work with the neumorphism or neumorphic UI, first of all we're gonna go ahead and create an artboard. I have created an artboard and I want to give it a fill color. So let's click on the fill, give it a fill color of this 242, 5 for the saturation and 98 for the brightness. Great. Now my friends, you could also use any hue you want by dragging this hue slider. I want to stick to this 242. Hit save. Now my friends, let's go ahead and draw a square. Select the rectangle tool and press the shift and drag it down. I have created a square of 148 by 148. Lock this aspect ratio, and then I want to remove this border, and then let's go ahead and give it a fill color. So to use the fill color, I'm going to select this fill color, and then I want to add it here, and I also want to right click here and add it to my color assets. Great. Now let's go ahead and create a shadow. So to create a shadow, you can click on this shadow and you can give it a shadow like this. But the problem with this shadow is that we only have a single shadow. We cannot apply multiple shadows as we do in Photoshop, Illustrator, or maybe in any other programs like Figma, right? So this is the problem with the XD, and at the time of this recording, XD doesn't support multiple shadows. So let's go ahead and remove this shadow. And what we are going to do here is that we want to create our own shadow. So select this sphere and give it a name of background, and quickly press Ctrl D 2 times to duplicate this layer, and then give it a name of light, let's say shadow to the middle one and light to the top one. And light is coming from top left corner, so I'm going to select the light layer and press shift on my keyboard and left arrow and press it one time, and also press shift and nudge it to the top by pressing shift and up arrow only once, and change its color to white. Alright, now for the shadow, I want to use the same hue, which is 245, but the saturation is going to be 20 and this brightness should be about 75. Let's dial in 70 and add this color right there, and I also want to right click on it and add to the color assets. Great. Now my friends, let's go ahead and select these two layers, which is the shadow and light, and then click on this background blur and then select the object blur. Now give the blur value of 10 and then bring this background layer to the top Now my friends, you're gonna see that we have created one neumorphic state, but let's fix a few of the problems that we can see here. You're gonna see that it's not looking the way I wanted it to. I forgot to kind of nudge this layer, the shadow one. So select the shadow, press and hold the shift and down arrow one time, and then right arrow one time while pressing the shift. So we have kind of nudged this value by 10 pixels. So my friends, what I want to say here is that I think this is too much dark, so we can simply go ahead and increase the brightness to 75. So now my friends, it's looking much better. So my friends, what we can do here is that we can kind of make a component out of this. So select everything, press Ctrl G to group this, and then call it normal state, right? And press Ctrl K to make a component. The benefit of making component is that you can make changes to the master component and changes will be reflected to the all of the other component instances. So let's go ahead and press Alt and drag it to the right, and also press the shift so that you can drag it horizontally in a straight line, and then again press Alt and shift and duplicate it once more. Now let's go ahead and open this normal state and select and kind of go to this border radius and dial in value 20 to apply a rounded scale. Now let's go ahead and select the third one and select everything inside here and give it a value of 100 to make a circular component. So see how easily we have make 3 components. Now hit save. So my friends, you have seen how easily we can create neumorphic components. Now the benefit of these components is that if I want to change this component, then all others will have the same changes reflected from the master component. So let's say I want to change the hue, so you're gonna see the hue is reflected to all of the instances of that master component, and that is really very cool. You could adjust the blur value of the shadow like this, and it will reflect it everywhere. Great. So let's hit undo and hit save. Alright my friends, now we have created the normal states. Let's group them all and call normal states. Let's go ahead and create the active states. What I want to do here is that I want to kind of select this normal state, press Ctrl D, press Ctrl X to cut it and paste it right there, and then drag it down, and then ungroup them by pressing Ctrl Shift G. And then what we can do here is that I can simply hide this layer and select these two layers, shadow and light, remove the fill, apply it a border, and then let's give it a border of 4 and blur of maybe 5, and then my friends, select the light one and give it a white color. You can't see that, so let's give it a light color of red so that you can see that easily. And for the shadow, I want to use this exact same color with reduced brightness value. Maybe 60 would be much better. Now my friends, turn on this background layer, and then what we need to do here is that select the background layer and this shadow layer and click on this align top, right, and then align left. Great. Now click on this light layer and do the same. Great. And then select the light layer and drag towards the top left corner to 170, right? And then select the shadow layer and drag it from the bottom right up to 170, right? And then let's reduce the opacity. Let's go ahead and remove the fill and apply it a border so that you can see what's going on. Now what we are going to do here is that we want to use this shape to kind of mask this shape so that we can only see what's inside this border, right? So what we can do here is that we can apply any kind of fill to this. So let's apply this one, or maybe anything, it doesn't matter because it will be a mask. So let's call this mask, and then select everything and right click and say mask. Now my friends, we have created another component. The only change that we need to make here is that we have to change the light color to white. Alright, that's really great. Now my friends, what we can do here is that we can go ahead and make any changes that we want to the light and shadow layer. So for now, let's go ahead and duplicate this mask and press Ctrl and open square bracket and bring this mask to the down and change its fill color to same as this background color and call it background. And then my friends, group this mask and say pressed state or active state, whatever you wish. Then what we can do here is that we can kind of go ahead and select the light layer and play with the blur value to kind of get the desired result. So this is looking much better. And for the shadow, I want to reduce its border size a bit and its blur value. Okay, all right, to me it's looking fine. Now my friends, what we can do here is that we can go ahead and kind of duplicate this by pressing Alt and Shift couple of times and then select everything inside the second mask, and then we can go ahead and apply it a border radius of 20. So we have now the press state for this rounded component, and let's go ahead and select everything that's inside this one and give it a pretty high value, maybe 200 by 200 to make a circular. But here we need to adjust the shadow and lightness, so we can go ahead and select the shadow and kind of decrease this to the bottom right, and also for the lightness we can decrease it from the top right corner to adjust it so that it will look something like this. So my friends, you have seen how easily we have created the neumorphic design components. Now I have already told you that if you make any changes to any of these two master components, its changes will be reflected to other two component instances, right? So let's go ahead and make a change to this component. Let's say I want to change the background. So if I change this background, actually we haven't made the component, so it will not be reflected, sorry. Let's go ahead and press Ctrl K to make a component, and you can simply go ahead and kind of duplicate this couple of times and then go ahead and select everything and give it a border radius of 20, and then do the same for this active state mask. Select everything what's inside it and then give it a pretty high value, adjust its light by kind of dragging inwards from the top left corner and shadow dragging inwards from the bottom right. All right, so now we have made components. Now if you go ahead and make changes to this background, you're gonna see that it's going to be reflected for the other instances like this. All right, now let's hit undo and hit save. So the benefit of creating these UI components like this is that if you want to create any UI elements like components, like let's say I want to create a button, I can simply grab this and right inside the normal state I can select everything and just change its height to, let's say, 56, and don't forget to kind of unlock this aspect ratio. And now my friends, I have created a button like this, and I can simply go ahead and say neumorphism, and then I can reduce its size to kind of 16 pixel, and you can see that how easily now we can create our UI components. So I have created a button. I can make this rounded if I want, or I could just grab this one and create another rounded button. So let's say 64, or I can just reduce its roundness like this, grab this and say let's go ahead and we can adjust these values. Actually click this and kind of center them. Okay, so now if you make any changes to this master component, let's say I want to change its background, you're gonna see how all the instances are being changed, and this is really awesome, right? So that's why we have made the components, and you can also change the entire design by simply going to this assets and right click on the edit. You could change these colors. So let's say I want to change this color, so I can say edit and maybe let's adjust the hue. Can you see that how easy it is to kind of modify the designs by using the assets panel? So it's really awesome. So let's dial in 242. All right, so now my friends, I think you can use any of these components to create your UI elements. So for this video, this is it. I'll see you soon in my next video. But my friends, what I want you from is that I want to hear your thoughts. Go ahead and comment your thoughts in the comment section, and please go ahead and like the video if you like the content, and also consider subscribing the channel if you like the content and want to see much more videos like this on the channel. And even if you are involved in the front-end development, go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. I will be uploading a lot of video tutorials related to UI designs, front-end development and lot more. Thank you for watching. See you soon.